Hi guys, Miss B here. Sorry I'm not there to go through this with you, but I hope it's helpful. So question 1 from our test, we've got 5k over 3 take 2 equals 8, and we're trying to solve for k. So I'm going to subtract, get rid of this -2, adding 2 to both sides, so therefore 5k over 3 equals 8 plus 2 is 10, therefore 5k equals 30. Now, a really common mistake that a lot of you made was when you times everything by 3, you also multiplied the top of the fraction by 3, when really I've got 3 times 3 on both sides, and these cancel. So it's not 15k. So now I'm dividing both sides by 5. K equals 6. Question 2, first step, we're expanding brackets. So I've got -12 times x and -12 times 3. So -12 times x is -12x. -12 times 3 is -36. Another really common mistake, a lot of us left out that negative and called this plus 36. It's less than or equal to 0. Now I'm wanting to isolate x, so I'm going to shift this term by adding 36 to both sides. Alright, and now I'm trying to isolate x. So I'll just write it as is for now. So I need to divide by 12x, and we need to remember that when I multiply or divide by a negative number in an inequality, I flip it. So that leaves me with x is greater than or equal to 3, -3. Okay. The next one. So I'm looking at that and I know I want d by itself, so my answer is going to look something like d equals some number. So I'm going to need to move these d's to be on the same side, but I can't do that right now because I've got fractions. So I'm going to cancel the fractions by multiplying everything by 4, because I know that will cancel my 2 as well. So if I've got 4 times 3d plus 1 over 2 equals 4 times d minus 3 over 4. Okay. Therefore, now 4 divided by 2 is 2, so this is 2 3d plus 1. 4 divided by 4, well, they just cancel, d minus 3. Therefore, now I need to expand these brackets. I've got 6d plus 2 equals d minus 3. Therefore, now I'm moving this d that way and this 2 that way. So 6d minus d equals -3 take 2. Therefore, this becomes 5d equals -5. Alright, so 5d divided by 5, -5 divided by 5, d is -1. And the last one from question 1, I've got 2 sets of brackets to expand. So 7 times 2t, we've got 14t, 7 4s are 28, equals 28, take 8t. Now at this point, some of you move this 28 over here, and this 8t over here, and that's okay. But we could, because we've got 28 on both sides, instantly just cancel that out. Now that's the same as minusing it from both sides, and say 14t equals -8t. And then if we think about it, the only number for which that equation makes sense is the one where t equals 0. So if you jump straight there to there, that's okay. But if you showed, therefore, 14t plus 8t equals 0, and then 22t equals 0 and t equals 0 over 22, that's also okay. So it's okay to jump straight from here to here, but if you showed this extra working out, even better. Okay, question 2 was about graphing inequalities. So here we're asked to graph x is greater than or equal to 6. So I'm starting by drawing my number line. I know 6 needs to be included, so I'll put that in the middle. And then I have to think about, well, this is greater than or equal to, so it's a closed dot, 6 is included. And which direction am I going in? X is greater, so I'm heading toward the bigger numbers, and we're done. Well, the second one, be mindful of, this says 24 is greater than x is greater than 22. So I could write this the other way, as 22 is less than x is less than 24. And what that really means is that x is strictly between 22 and 24. So if I draw my number line, which goes on forever. I'm not including 22 and I'm not including 24, but I'm including the stuff in between. So that's that one. We're asked to identify the inequality that's drawn here. So I've got an open circle, so -4 is not included, and I'm going greater than, bigger than -4. So it's x is greater than, not equal to, because it's an open circle, -4. Okay, so on the second page we've got worded questions. So June divided his bag of lollies so that he and his friends Tyson and Hayley could share them. He gave himself twice as many as he gave Hayley, and Tyson received 3 times as many as Hayley. If the bag contained 42 lollies, how many did each person receive? So we need to start with a statement. Being let the number of lollies someone has, so we're going to make a choice. So I would go with who has the least number of lollies, and that's Hayley. B, and we could call it whatever we wanted, so we'll go with A. Alright. Then from the question, June has (2A) and Tyson has 3A. So now we need to write some equation to express the total number of lollies. So I've got Hayley plus June plus Tyson equals 42 lollies all up. So that's a very simple equation. The difficult part is interpreting the question. So A plus 2A plus 3A, I've got therefore 6A equals 42. Therefore A, dividing both sides by 6, is 7. Now what does that mean? Because the question actually asks how many does each person get. So if you left it there, you would have got 2 out of 3 marks. 1 for interpreting the question right, 1 for solving it correctly, but you haven't actually answered the question. So that means Hayley has 7. June has 14. Tyson has 21. Question 5. If 1/3 of a number is subtracted from 2/3 of the same number, the result is 3. So again, we need to start with defining our variable. So let the number be, we'll call him x, just for fun. So it's saying 1/3 of a number is subtracted from 2/3 of a number. So I've got 2/3 of x and I'm subtracting 1/3 of x. The result is 3. Alright. Now you could cancel out that fraction, But if you stop and think about it, 2/3 take 1/3, that's not hard. It's just 1/3. So 1/3 of x is 3. Now a really common mistake that was made here was people multiplied by 1/3 to cancel out. Now if I think about that, if I times 1/3 by 1/3, that's going to be 1/9. It's not going to cancel. So I need to be multiplying by 3, because this is the same as x over 3 on both sides. Therefore, cancelling out, x equals 9. Now, is that answering the original question? I might just state the number is 9. All right, the last one on that page. Brandon is twice as old as Costa. 3 years from now, the sum of their ages will be 42. How old is Brandon? So, we're going to start by defining something. So we have to decide whether we want to start with Costa's age or Brandon's age. So who's younger? Brandon's twice as old as Costa. I'd start with a smaller quantity. That way we're avoiding fractions. So let Costa's age be, let's call him C. All right, now Brandon, from the question, is 2C, twice as old at this current time. Then the question says 3 years from now, the sum of their ages will be 42. So we need to write an equation to express that. So in 3 years, Costa will be C plus 3 years old, and Brandon will be 2C plus 3 years old. So this is how old they are now. In 3 years' time, we've added 3 to both. Common mistake, lots of people just added 3 once. That's factoring in time, not age. Now, do I need brackets around either of these? No, because we're just adding them together, and that equals 42. I've used 42 twice in this test. Okay, collecting like terms, I've got C and 2C, therefore 3C plus 9 equals 42. Therefore, 3C equals, now I'm taking away 9, and I'm getting 33. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Okay. 3 plus 3 is not 9, that's 6. So now I'm getting 36. Okay, and dividing both sides by 3, I get C equals 12. So interpreting the question, Costa is 12 at the moment. Is that what the question was asking? No, we want to say that Brandon, therefore Brandon is 24. Okay, simultaneous equations. For the first two, you were told you had to solve by elimination. So if we look at these two, if I were to add those two equations together, the 2y and negative 2y would cancel, so I don't have to do anything to this before I start. So I'm adding the two equations. 5x plus 3x is therefore 8x plus 2y, take 2y, 0, equals 32. Alright, therefore, dividing both sides by 8, x equals 4. Then back substituting, it doesn't really matter where it goes. Let's put him in up here. Therefore, 5 times 4 plus 2y equals 26. Therefore, 20 plus 2y equals 26. Therefore, we've taken 20 from both sides. 2y equals 6, y equals 3, and what you should have done is stated that therefore xy is 4, 3. All right, the next one, not so simple, because when I add these together, nothing's going to cancel out. So I need to do something to one of these equations first. So I can see that if I were to multiply this whole equation by 3, that would give me a 3x here, which would cancel with this negative 3x. So let's do that. I'm going to write the first equation as it is. Negative 3x plus 2y equals 11. Now I'm multiplying the second one by 3. So I've got 3x plus 9y equals 33. Now I can add them. So 3x, take 3x is 0. 9y plus 2y is 11y equals 44. Therefore, dividing both sides by 11, y equals 44 over 11, which is 4. Now back substituting, now I might put that back into this original one here. So I've got x plus 3 times 4 equals 11. Therefore x plus 12 equals 11. Therefore subtracting 12 from both sides, x equals negative 1. And I'm just stating, therefore xy is negative 1, 4. Okay, for the second two we were asked to solve by substitution. So this one's already set up, ready to go. So I've got this y term isolated. I can plug it straight in for y in there. So I'm starting with, therefore, 7x plus 2 lots of all of that equals 15. So continuing, 7x take 4x plus 12 equals 15. Therefore, now 7x take 4x is 3x. And I'm also going to subtract 12 from both sides, equals 3. X equals 1. Now I'm back substituting up here, because y is already isolated here. So therefore, y equals negative 2 times 1 plus 6, which is negative 2 plus 6, which is 4. So therefore xy equals 1, 4. And the last one, now this one I haven't got a term isolated. I'm going to use the second equation because I'm noticing that all of these are a factor of 2. Sorry, a multiple of 2. So if I isolate this x, I shouldn't have any fractions, where if I do that up here, nothing's going to divide nicely. So I'm rearranging that second equation to be x equals, I've got 16 plus 8y divided by 2. All right, now I can do both of those divisions. So 16 divided by 2 is 8, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I've got x equals 8 plus 4y. Now I'm subbing that in for x in the first equation. So therefore, 5 lots of 8 plus 4y plus 3 lots of y equals 17. Therefore, now 5 8s are 40 plus 20y plus 3y equals 17. Therefore, now I'm collecting these y's and I'm moving this 40. So I've got 23y, 17 take 40, I believe is negative 23. Therefore, dividing by 23, y is negative 1. So I sub that back in to get x. Therefore, x is 8 plus 4 times negative 1, which is 4. xy is 4 negative 1. Now the final question is worded simultaneous equation. So Jerry's shopping for toys for his little brother. If 4 snakes and 2 dinosaurs. So we're going to let the cost of snakes be S. I'm going to change pens because that one's not working very well. And we're going to let the cost of dinosaurs be D. Now you need to have that. If you don't have that, you should be losing a full mark because you haven't defined your terms. So 4 snakes plus 2 dinosaurs equals 1440. And 1 snake plus 5 dinosaurs equals $18. How much would Jerry pay for? So our end goal is to figure out how much 5 snakes plus 3 dinosaurs equals. But we have to find out how much one costs first. So I'm going to rearrange the second equation to be S equals 18 take 5D and substitute that in to the first one. Sorry, there, for S, because that's what I've isolated. So I've got 4 bracket 18 take 5 D plus 2D equals 1440. Alright, now expanding these brackets, I've got therefore 4 times 18 take 20D plus 2D equals 1440. Alright. Now I'm not great on my 18 times tables, but 4 10s are 40 and 8 4s are 32, so that is 72. Yep. So I've got 72. Now this is take 18D equals 1440. Therefore, negative 18D equals 1440 take 72. And if I divide both of those sides by negative 18, I get D equals, I believe, 3.2. Okay, so it's $3.20 for a dinosaur. Substituting that back in, and we'll come over here. A snake costs 18, take 5 lots of 3.2. All right, well, 5 lots of 0.2 is 1, 5 3s are 15, so this is 16. 18 take 16 is 2. So snakes are $2, dinosaurs are $3.20. Then all that's left is to plug both of those into this equation. So we've got 5 times 2 plus 3 times 3.2, which is 10, plus, what, 9.6, $19.60.